have a major, super major, probably the most major, biggest thing, almost kind of super major, as in thinking about it for the last 4 years major, as in gonna change my life major, as in I'm really a grown-up major, like proper major. A major update in my life that I wanted to share with you guys. And I never really thought about how I would do this video because part of me never thought it was going to happen, but it has. And finally, after so long, I can officially announce to the world, because I'm a superstar, and I'm joking, I can officially say that my husband has finally joined me in the UK, and I'm super excited, guys, super excited. When doing the visa application and going through that whole process, there was a lot of information out there, but I did find it quite difficult to understand a lot of it. So basically today, what I'm going to do is go through the steps and the processes, and basically share a little bit of our experience with you guys, so that it can hopefully help somebody who is going to do the same thing. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not official, even though I'm feeling real professional and cute today. So all of the information I give, you can take it or you can leave it different, but I'm pretty certain that if you follow the rules I'm going to give you, you're going to be good to go. This visa is often known as a spouse visa, partner visa, or family visa, and what it does is it enables your partner to come over and live and work in the country for 2.5 years. After that 2.5 years ends, they're able to extend or switch their visa for another 2.5 years. After that 2.5 years ends, they're able to apply for indefinite leave to remain in the UK. So essentially, you're going to have to do this application process 2 times. 2 times. The fact that I've had to do it once already is stressing me out. It's really stressing me out. Like, there's a lot, guys. I had a folder about this big, this thick, full of documents. Now, another question a lot of people have also asked, and it's something that I really wanted to know when I was applying for this process, is whether you don't, that don't make no sense, is whether you need a lawyer or not. Now, you don't need a lawyer to apply for this process. However, I would highly recommend it. We decided to go for a lawyer because, like I said, once we were having a look at going through this process, it was just overwhelming, if I'm honest. There was a lot of information out there, but there's also a lot of fine print. And the visa application, I'm going to be real with you guys, it's a lot of money. So you don't want to risk ruining it. I didn't want to ruin it. So we decided to go for a lawyer. And what that lawyer was able to do for us was she was able to provide a whole list of documents for us to then go and get. So we needed to make sure that we got everything on that checklist. Once we did get everything on that checklist, we handed it over to her and she sorted out the rest. So having a lawyer will definitely take a lot of stress off your hands, guys. So if you can afford it, I would definitely recommend it. If you're considering saving up a little bit of extra money for the lawyer, again, I would definitely recommend it. There'll be a lot of people out there that tell you don't need a lawyer, and that is true. But at the end of the day, it boils down to the individual. I think lawyers are also particularly good in special cases as well. So if your marriage, relationship, or finances are quite particular, or you've got a few gaps in the requirements that you're not able to meet, a lawyer is going to be able to help you with that better than you'll probably be able to help yourself. At the time of applying, we had probably been married for maybe about 8 months or so, honestly. About 8-9 months. Okay, so like I said, I contacted the lawyer and we went through the process that way. She provided all the information and we began to get the documents. So there's a variety of different documents that you have to get. You'll have to prove that you've been earning over £18,600 annually. If you do earn over the threshold, you're going to need to be able to prove that. And that's going to come in a variety of different ways. So bank statements showing you the income coming in, pay slips from your employer. You're also going to need a letter from your employer confirming that you work there. Savings, if you've got savings as well, you can prove that. And and a few other things, but that's basically the basics. Your bank statements, your pay slips, your employer's letter. I'm gonna go through the list with you guys. Actually, I'm gonna hook you guys right up today, because I wasn't playing with this. You're also going to need to be able to provide your P60. So if you have your P60, that's going to be great. HMRC documents, if you have them, they're also going to be great as well. So like I said, all of those things are going to help support you in terms of proving that you earn over the threshold, which is 18,600, but also that you are in current employment as well. So talking about where you guys live. So this one was a bit tricky because I've read a lot of information out there saying that you had to prove that you'd been living somewhere for 6 months. Can you apply with a council flat? All sorts of different things. The answer is yes, you can. If you live in a council flat, you can apply. If you're renting a room just by yourself and you've got other housemates, you can also apply. What you need to be able to prove is that you actually have somewhere to live and that the place is big enough for you and your partner without overcrowding. So that part is actually really important. Let's say you live in a 1-bedroom flat and there's already one person in there. It's going to be an overcrowding situation. It's totally fine for you and your partner to share a bed, obviously, because you're partners, but you can't be inflicting on somebody else or causing overcrowding in the room. So you're going to need to be able to provide a tenancy agreement or something from your council, your landlord, whatever. Also, a lot of people speak about a floor plan of the flat, but if you don't get that, it's not the end of the world. But if you can, it will be essential in proving that there's enough space in the property for all of you. And then you're going to need a consent letter for whoever it is who owns the property. So like I said, you might be able to get a tenancy agreement. If you're in a council flat and it's not your flat, you'll need to get a consent letter from the person who owns the council flat, confirming that they're happy for you to stay. Let's move on to the relationship. This is the longest bit, but it's the easiest bit if you're in a genuine relationship. So what you're going to need to do is you don't need to, but this is my document list and this is what I was required to do and it worked for me. So you're going to need to have a supporting letter from both the applicant, which is your partner, and the sponsor, which is you. So I was the sponsor and my husband was the applicant. Also be great if you could get a letter like that from family members as well. So hopefully family members who have met your partner or have seen you guys together, and they can vouch for your relationship and they will probably have lovely things to say. So in my case, I got that from my mum and my sister, I believe. Yeah. So they were people who had met my husband prior to him coming to the UK. So they were able to write a letter as well. So you're also going to need to provide evidence of contact between you and your partner. So that could be WhatsApp messages. I've screenshotted so many, probably about that much. WhatsApp messages, Instagram messages, Twitter messages, text messages, calls as well. Whatever you guys have been speaking, provide proof of it. So you can take screenshots of your FaceTime conversations, like I said, the call durations, all of that stuff. Whatever you guys have been speaking, show the proof. You also need to be able to show evidence of where you guys have met. So like I said, my husband was living in Ghana and I was living in the UK, and I was traveling abroad to Ghana, or sometimes we'd travel to different countries. So for some reason, I'm a bit of a, I don't know what the word is, but I love memorabilia. So I did have a lot of the tickets that we had travelled to and fro different countries. But if you don't have them physically, that's not a problem. You can just get them online. So for all of the tickets I didn't have, I just went online to my bookings or to my travel agents and I got proofs of all of those tickets. And he did the same on his side for any time he came to meet me in another country. You'll also need to be able to show the stamps in your passport. So if you're saying that you guys went to visit each other in Spain for 2 weeks, but your passport doesn't have a stamp, it's not really adding up. They're very, very thorough, guys, and they're very, very particular. So they want to make sure that you guys are being very, very honest about your relationship, your finances, and everything you've pretty much said in the application. So you need to be able to prove when and where you guys have visited each other and give details of how long and why. Why did you go there? Why did you go to Spain? Why did you go to Uganda? Why did you go to Ghana? Etc, etc, etc. Pictures, 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 pictures. This is actually a really cool tip, guys. So what I did in the beginning is I printed off every single video, every single picture that I wanted to include in the relationship section of the visa, and then I realized that actually they're gonna much prefer an easier way of scanning things. So what I did is I just went online and put all of those pictures into a Word document. So for instance, me and my husband visited Dubai in, I believe, 2019 or 18. So I put a few pictures of us in Dubai on one page, and then I put the title there, Dubai, United Arab Emirates 2018, and then the date we went and then the date we came back. So all of the information was there. Again, that's going to line up with the passport stamps and then the tickets in and out of the country. So that's how we went about the pictures. So I would also advise you guys to do that. Don't print off every single picture, just put them on a Word document, and break them down so they're able to see what's going on. Make it very easy for them. Don't make them work too hard, because there's just no need. You're going to need to scan every single page in your passport. And like I said, this relates back to the stamps in your passport, when and where you guys have been to see each other. They just basically want to, I guess, see what you've been about. You're also going to need to scan your partner's passport as well. That will happen at the visa applications. You're going to need a copy of your birth certificate for the sponsor. So this would be for me. So I'm going to need a copy of my birth certificate. And then there's a sponsorship undertaking form that you have to fill out, as well as the form that you've already filled out online, and it's just like forms. You're gonna need that too. Letters and bills that have been addressed to you as well, proof of address. You see how this is going? It just basically all goes round. It's like you have to prove one thing 3 times, just to make sure that everything is consistent. So there are a few other things that I want to talk to you guys about, and one of them is the proof of English language. So there are 2 ways in which you can meet that criteria. One of them is if you have a degree that was taught in English, and the other is if you go and take an English test. So my husband has a degree that was taught in English, but we were advised by our lawyer to go down the other route. So he took an English test, and it's taken in a controlled environment, and it assesses your speaking and listening, so, and I think writing as well. So that is something that they have to do. They also have to do a TB test in their country. So for a lot of people who may be in other countries, you might not have access to the controlled center for the TB test in your country, so it is possible that you might have to travel. But with us, we had the center in Ghana, so everything was okay. Once you decide that you're going to go through this process, guys, and you do contact a lawyer, or you go about it, you will need to fill out an application form online. Once you fill out on the application form online, it will ask you for all of your details, and you have to put it in honestly, obviously. Don't lie on it. Don't even think about lying. Don't even think about twisting the truth, or, you know, adding an extra £50 onto your salary. Don't do it. Be completely open, honest and transparent about your information. Once you finish application side, you will then have to book an appointment. So for us, there was a massive gap in between that time, and I think it was probably about 2 months. So we got all of our documents together, which probably took me about a month, if I'm very honest with you guys. So I would say give yourself some time. Give yourself time. Give yourself some grace, because there are a lot of documents to get together, and if you're like me, you don't have all of those documents sitting down. Another tip as well is that in terms of your employer's letter, your bank statements and stuff like that, they can't be they have to be basically obtained after you submit the application form. So it can't be a employment letter that you had at the beginning of your employment 2 years ago. That would not allow you to satisfy the criteria. It has to be, I think it was within 28 days of when you submit your online application. I might be wrong, guys, so please double check that. Once you finish submitting the application, you then have to book an appointment, and you pay for that as well. It's like these guys just keep squeezing money out of you. You pay for that as well. So that appointment will be done in your country, your spouse's country. So in our example, it was done in Ghana. So what my husband would then have to do is take all of the documents that I provided, and go to his appointment, have his fingerprints taken, and scan all of the documents. What you can do if you happen to be in the country, which I happen to be, is I took the documents over. So I physically printed all of the documents over here and I took them over to Ghana. If not, there are other ways that you can go about it. Now, once you've taken the documents over and your partner's gone through and he scanned everything, you guys are there, you're just feeling nervous. Something that was really, really worrying for us is how the pandemic was going to affect our application. From what we had read online, we had seen and heard that there was a massive backlog with the applications, and that the standard application process, I believe it's that 99.9% of applications are receive an outcome within 90 days of the application, of the physical handover of the document. So that's not you applying online, that's you physically handing over the document. So which is what I said my husband did in Ghana. So 90 days from that date, which is 3 months. So all in all, the application process is going to be around, if you do it quickly, it could be around 4 months, 3 months exact, but for us it was probably about 5 or 6, because we took some time at the beginning. Be prepared for your application to take longer than 90 days. However, ours came in 90 days, so everything was fine. So the most important thing, like I said, that you guys probably want to know is the fees. So the visa application costs a total of £1,589 to be precise. Then there's also a few other things that they don't really tell you about online, or that are not clear online, such as the immigration health surcharge. Now, the immigration health surcharge costs £1,280 exact, on the basis that you will be in the country for 2.5 years. So that's basically you paying to see the NHS for 2.5 years in advance. Hence the reason for the £1,280. Then, like I spoke to you guys about earlier, you've got the proof of English language. So you've got the speaking and listening test, which costs a total of £150. I wish I was done. I'm literally reading the list now like, Jesus Christ. Now we've got the TB test, and that costs us a total of £92. So that would be very, very different depending on what country you're in. So now we're going to talk about lawyer fees. For our lawyer, we paid approximately £900, I believe. Let's round it up to £990, I believe we paid for our lawyer, which was a very, very decent price compared to what I was seeing out there. The last thing that we actually had to pay for was the scanning of the document. So once you go to the centre, like I said, we had a document folder full, that thick of documents. You need to pay for it to be scanned. Online, it can tell you a variety of different prices. Again, it depends how you're paying, whether you're paying with a card, whether you're paying cash, the current currency rate at the time, and so many other things. But we paid a total of 600 cedis. So in total, with everything, we paid a lot of money. I hope this has answered a few questions for you guys. If anybody does have any more questions, feel free to shoot me a message on IG, send me a DM. My Instagram is @AliaTamara, and I'll put all of the information links below so you can like, comment, subscribe, talk to me, message me, whatever you want to do. And I'll see you again soon.